Hello, BookTube. Well, let's see. I had a plan in my week off there to do a outside video to show you some pretty Bangkok. I was going to go to the park and do one of the nature tags. However, it was way over 100 almost every day. It was super humid. It was pretty impossible. So that didn't happen. I did, however, go to Ari, the hip neighborhood of cafes, to the Death Awareness Cafe. Really interesting place. And I have a video, which if I figure out how I'll attach to this one in this, or probably if not, you can click to it right after you watch this. So yeah, check out the Death Awareness Cafe as a sort of setting for this tag, which there are about 4 tags going around: deathbed, death, the Grim March of Death, and what I'm doing is the Grim March of Momento Mori. So I'm basically doing the Memento Mori questions. It's only like 5. And then I'm going to do a little something with the Grim March one. So apologies to the creators of these, but I've forgotten who did which. Okay, so the questions from Memento Mori are a little bit out of order because I was going to skip some until I realized there are so few. So the first is, how many books will I read before I die? I wasn't going to sit there and try to calculate something so morbid. And frankly, how should I say, acquisitional? There's probably a better word. I might have made that one up. Enumerative. Anyway, I'm not into, well, I am into, like most humans, I'm prone to that desire, right, of collecting books, collecting languages, collecting countries, even if they aren't things. But I've tried, and I've done a good job of getting away from that. So I'm not going to get into trying to figure out how many books. Let's say something super safe. Let's say if I live to 70, I promise to read I'll read at least 70 books. And if I live to 100, I promise I'll read at least 100. And if I die tomorrow, well, there you go. So yeah, so the next is a book to help you cope. A book to help you cope with death would be probably the Bardo, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Can't do probably much better than that, right? A writer that's witty about death, and then later on they have one also, a quote. So I'm going to pick, so Woody Allen once said, well, he had a bunch of good ones about death. He said he was fine with it, but he didn't like the hours. He said he was fine with death, but he didn't want to be there when it happened. And probably some others that are escaping my memory right now. But very funny on death, one of his brooding themes. And as a book, I can also recommend his fiction, which is collected in 4 volumes, 3 back in the 70s, 1 more recently. Almost all appeared in the New Yorker. And they are hilarious. And I'm going to recommend The Thing Without Feathers. Right? Emily Dickinson said that hope is the thing with feathers. So this is called Without Feathers. So give that a read. And I believe there's even a short play in one of them in which he sort of bargains with death. Who's a bit of a schlemiel. I think they play Jim Rummy. It might have, some of those collections, some of those bits ended up in Deconstructing Harry, the movie. Anyway, I will address cancel culture, by the way, parenthetically, in a video coming out soon. So, but yeah, Woody Allen, very funny on death. A nonfiction on death. Well, let's once again turn to oh heavens, Night Wiesel, yes. Wiesel's Night. It's a sort of survivor. So maybe I'm cheating, but obviously survived to write it. But yeah, that's an interesting nonfiction on it. There's also where I want my book collection to go to, as many of you know, and as you can see, I own only 5-6 books at a time ever, and I travel light. So I guess the library, I would like, if someone finds me one day, please return my library books to the library. That's probably about all I'll have to worry about. Does this make me uneasy? Only a short, really small amount because I have certain beliefs. Okay, so the way Memento or the Grim March works is you take your birth year and then you sort of like find a book for every year since you were born. I'm not going to do that to you. Do not worry because I was born in 1971. We would be here for a long, long time. So what I did instead is I took those 1971 books, and I was already doing this a while back when I wanted to read a book from 1971. So I took the list and I sort of looked at when I might have read each of them. So they all came out when I was born, and I'm going to tell you when I get to them. So let's start with, so this is a list from Goodreads. And I'm only going to do the page one, so just the top 20. So let's start with number 1 here, Fear and Loathing. I think I got to Fear and Loathing after college, shortly after college. I was reading a lot of weird stuff. But the Lorax, number 2, I probably did get read to as a small, small boy. Along with, no, Rats of Nim, I would have been a little older in elementary. Little House on the Prairie was on TV all the time. So when we had finally a TV for a short time there, that's when I saw that. So again, quite young. And then it would have been, The Monster at the End of the Book, which is Grover. I watched Sesame Street religiously when we had that TV, so I probably saw that one when I was quite young as well. So next comes The Hiding Place, True Story of Corrie ten Boom. No idea what that is, and I have not gotten to it. So there you go. The Exorcist is a horror book. I hate, hate, hate horror. I was aware of it when the movie came out, but not sure I ever saw the movie actually, but somehow I know some scenes, was probably excerpts. So yeah, never going to get to that one. Now, Go Ask Alice is it's like a LSD trip one. I haven't read that. I read Castaneda. I read Doors of Perception. Not read Go Ask Alice, so I haven't gotten to that. Although there's a great song, Go Ask Alice. Okay, yeah, Rats of Nim. So here's another one I would have gotten to as a child. Really scary book. Was there a cartoon of it as well? I'm thinking of Watership Down, but I don't think so. Or either way, I think I read this. So I would have been a little bit older in elementary reading that one. Day of the Jackal. Again, they did a movie, which I haven't seen. I've not read the book, so I haven't gotten to that one yet. But I did get to Ursula K. Le Guin, and in fact, in high school. Her and also, let's go down to, where is it? Dragon Quest by Anne McAfee. I was a Dungeons and Dragons mad young lad in high school. So I read all of that stuff in high school. Which is, I think, appropriate, but, along with the Pride and Prejudice and the essays of Montaigne and stuff like that was probably a little bit weird, precocious for me to have been reading that young. But I also was reading some good fantasy. We didn't really have young adults, a lot of young adult stuff back then. We read, adult books, which I think, is a good thing to do. Anyway, next is Maurice by E.M. Forster. No, I knew Forster from the 80s. From Passage to India. I think they did a movie. So I read him probably in college, but not Maurice. Still haven't gotten to Maurice, actually. Have I? Anyway. Oh, another Ursula K. Le Guin here, Lathe of Heaven. So I read I don't know about all of them, but I read the Earthsea trilogy, Left Hand of Darkness. I read a bunch of her books. Now, Wallace Stegner, Angle of Repose, that I just found out the other day from one of your videos, is called Angle of Repose. I have been thinking it was Angel of Repose all this time, and I have it in my house right now. And I've read a few pages, and I'm not drawn in at all. I may never read it. We'll see. Next is something called Hell House. I hate horror. I've never even heard of it. Bukowski's Post Office. I would have gotten to this maybe in Paris. They love that kind of stuff. So when I studied abroad in college, probably college. Flannery O'Connor, probably read in college. Winds of War, Herman Wouk, I have not read. Be Here Now, Ram Dass. I actually probably read this in high school. The reason is my mom's got a whole bookshelf of like Gurdjieff, Black Elk Speaks, Castaneda, all of that good stuff. So in there is Be Here Now by Ram Dass. Grendel, I definitely read in college, and the reason I know is because John Gardner was the head of our creative writing department in Binghamton until he had, I think, a motorcycle accident, I want to say. And then it's Dragon Quest, so that's number 20. So yeah, so those are the books I've read from my birth year and sort of when I read them. And that was interesting. It was fun. And I'd love it if you go and check out if I'd love it. I think you'd enjoy it if you go and check out the Death Cafe as well. And if you come to Bangkok, you can visit there. It's definitely a trip. It's very Buddhist, so it's not too Halloweeny. It's a little bit. It's not. It can be very moving. It's definitely impactful, but it's Buddhist, so it's a little bit. You feel held a little bit by that Buddhist frame, I think. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on death today. Let me know what you think about death down in the comments. Heavens.